Bandidos, we have new intel on the features coming to the new Division Resurgence mobile game, and the live test for this game begins on December 8th. I can't wait to hear what players think. Now, check out for the first time the all-new cinematic trailer for the Division Resurgence.
It happened in just a few weeks. Our own greed did us in. And before we knew it, the dollar flu spread like wildfire. A few weeks. That's how long it took for a civilization to collapse.
The governor of New York has asked for federal help as city services are collapsing.
Manhattan was being torn apart. So they locked it down. Or tried. But it was already too late.
The government is resorting to drastic measures to tackle the crisis.
That is why the president today has decided to invoke Directive 51.
So they finally activated us. The Strategic Homeland Division, an elite group of embedded agents. We are the last line of defense, and we will give our lives to save what remains.
That was super cool, and if you are a longtime Division fan, I am sure that storyline is all too familiar. Yep, we're headed back to New York, folks. This wasn't a very long or very deep feature reveal by Ubisoft, but there are some great highlights worth touching on. The executive producer joins us today for a Q&A.
The Division is a story of a huge crisis where the society has been impacted by the green poison. Society has collapsed, and as a member of the Division, you have to get in and save the day in New York City.
So what is the player's role in Resurgence, and where are we in the timeline for the Division franchise? Here he explains.
As an agent, you're a normal person. You have a job, you have a family, and all of a sudden you have to react to that crisis and you're activated. You will be part of the first wave, the first agents to get in New York to try to save the situation.
Okay, let's get into the gameplay. From a bird's eye view, it seems very close to what we are accustomed to on other platforms.
The world is vast. Of course, you will follow either the main path that is telling the core story of the Division, but you will have also a lot of activities within the open world to discover all the details and the secret about that specific universe. You have the main mission, but also everything related to the world, with specific events that you will play on a weekly basis, but also specific PvP activities like the Dark Zone or the conflict mode.
There's much more to that, and we'll jump into that in a moment. But here's something you need to see. A lot of players, including myself, are wondering how the Division is really going to feel on mobile. You have a vast world, dynamic interactive content, and fast-paced content we need to be able to adapt to. Watch closely here.
The key word for us was precision, and what we emulate is the full control you could expect from the Division experience put on your mobile device and that are fully customizable. And from there you will be able to really adapt your playstyle to make sure that it runs super smooth.
Fully customizable controls, that is cool. Now I'm still a little bit suspicious, but definitely curious enough to say I can't wait to get my hands on this thing.
As a player, you will have two options with the cover system. You could either pick the manual system when you can precisely say where you want to take cover to address the different challenges of the game, or you can go with the automatic system that is also reducing the number of inputs needed to take cover.
I think here he's basically describing the cover-to-cover movement system similar to what we have today in the Division 2, except there's a specific button for that on mobile. or so it appears. There's still going to be a specialization system, but it's not going to be exactly like what we have come to know in the Division 2. But look for that shield smash coming in this footage.
Specialization are the class in the Division Resurgence. As a player, you will be able to pick a specific playstyle that suits you, either to play solo or to create synergies by playing with your teammates. If we take the demolitionist specialization, for example, you will be able to play around with the gunner launcher or the seeker mine, and as it is an RPG at core, you will be able to customize those abilities to give them a very specific flavor.
The Division Resurgence is a fully MMO game. That means you will be able to meet other agents even in the PvE open world environment. That's really cool, and something I wish we had for the Division 2 right now. Imagine logging in and just going with the flow of the open world. See another agent fighting a control point, and just jump in real quick to help without committing too much of anything. So cool. Check it out.
That means that you will meet actually real players all across the open world. In New York City, you will be able to cooperate, to look where they are going and how they interact with the world, and that will be a perfect way to actually meet strangers and perhaps make new friends. But you have also the dangerous part, where you can actually meet players in the dark zone, in a PvP environment, where the goal will be to assess if it's an ally or perhaps an enemy, and to react to that. We have also a full PvP mode with Conflict, which is a team deathmatch 4v4, where the goal will be to find the best synergies in your team to make sure you can rule in that mode.
That's right, we will also have the Dark Zone and PvP skirmish game modes, but there is a twist you need to know about.
First, what is the Dark Zone? The Dark Zone is a place in New York under quarantine that is still contaminated and where the player has to go to get the best loot in the game. The goal in the Dark Zone is actually to try to get the best loot. As the zone is fully contaminated, you have to extract them to then claim it back in the open world. One of the main changes we've made to that iconic game mode is that you have actually 20 minutes to get the most of the Dark Zone. The goal is to have a very intense and action-packed game session.
Keywords being very intense and action-packed game sessions. Something very important to mobile games indeed, but I must say, getting a mod like that to the Division 2 Dark Zone is much needed. How many times have you gone into the Dark Zone just to find yourself feeling oh so sad and lonely? Be sure to hit subscribe and like for more Resurgence updates.
Follow me.